What the fuck?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome back to Rush Racing League. It is time for the first evaluation race of Division 4. This is going to be a spicy one here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right on into it. So, once again, my name is Patrick Holman, aka Rekus. I'll be one of your hosts and commentators today. And alongside me, we have Myrocat. How are you doing today?
Hello, hello. I'm very happy to be back here. Actually, not back, but I'm very happy to commentate here. It's my first race. I'm very excited what the race has to follow. And for sure, turn one.
Of course, yeah. I mean, Bahrain is such a really good track. I mean, there's a reason why
For sure.
F1 tests here. It is such a good track for testing. So, just gonna go ahead and talk about the track as we go ahead and get loaded into short quali. It is a 5.412 kilometers around. The full distance of this race is 57 laps, but today we are only doing 20. And it is such a very fun track. 15 corners around this track, and this track really just has a good amount of everything. So you have a lot of high speed, you have a lot of low speed, and you just have good straights. So, I mean, what's your experience with this track, Myro? Because this track is honestly one of my favorites.
I'm not sure. I'm more like the classic tracks. I'm not an expert on Bahrain, for sure, not. But I know it can be
Oh,
tricky till one if you mess it up, you can spin a lot. Or, and I don't know the turn numbers. But overtaking also on the straights, DRS straights if I'm not wrong, the 2 or 3. Uh, it's it's possible to overtake, and the exit of corners are the key to overtake, to have the speed, and for sure in qualifying, to have a good qualifying time and hopefully start in front.
indeed, yeah. So qualifying is gonna be very important here. So I saw a very interesting thing. Luckily it's just a visual bug that happened on my end, but I saw an Alpine fall through space. That was
It
a
was the
bit of a
same with
funny
me.
bug. Yeah. So
That's why we do those evaluation races, you know.
yeah. Although luckily, I know F124 had its videos of safety cars falling through into Narnia, but I know luckily it didn't affect the actual driver. So we have a few different drivers on outlaps at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see which of these drivers gets pole position. Now, there are no points on offer for this race because this is an evaluation race. Season 9 of Rush Racing League is the first season where we are actually running F125, the new game, the most recent game. I've heard a lot of positive reviews about this game so far as we are on board with PST Sebi, who's going to go ahead and set the first lap of the session. It is short quality, so it is only a singular qualifying session. And we are running a 35% distance race, so it'll be 20 laps around this circuit. So overall, do you have any predictions on how this is going to go, Myro?
I'm not sure. I think the drivers will hold back in the race because they want to spare like the cars for the actual races and kind of sense backing right now, you know what I mean? Like in testing, you can view it this race like a testing, like in F1, but as an actual race. But for the rest, I think in turn one, especially, there will be a bit of carnage. Like everyone will be funneled up with each other. It's a hard breaking point, and then racing line is very hard to do, especially in the first lap when everyone is next to each other.
Indeed, yeah. So, as Sebi is going through his lap right now, and I do apologize if it does look stretched. So it's a ultra-wide monitor that is currently being used. So there's going to be some fine-tuning that will have to be done. We're going to stick on board with PST Sebi now, as he's going to be the first one to set a lap time here. He is going to burn the battery, come across the final line, and he's got a 128 to go ahead and kickstart the session. So overall, do you have any predictions for this race? Because Flubber actually goes ahead and takes the top position now. It is
Wow.
a 128.523 to kick us off, and there is a yellow flag in the early or in sector one. So unsure of
It's
who that
probably
is at the moment.
it's probably because someone on an out lap is going slow or on a cooldown lap. It always happens in the game in qualifying. In F1 esports is in qualifying 90% of the time there's a yellow flag because on the cooldown laps and out laps people are going very slow. And we still have three people who haven't set the lap, not have set lap time, but have stayed in the pits, probably waiting until the track is better to drive, more traction, and can get a better. Oh my gosh, can get a better time. Because the tires are of course limited, like in every race. So they need to watch out with the tires that they might maybe not use it again and again and again, and get a slower lap time.
Yeah, the desert heat does not really cooperate with these tires a lot. As we're on board now with the Red Bull driver of J-Man Diego. We just call him J-Man for short. He's going to burn the battery, come across the line. His time is going to be a 131.311. And like you said,
Mhm.
track evolution is going to be a massive factor here in this race, or in this qualifying session in general. So we typically don't see the full representative pace of these drivers until we hit around the last 2 or 3 minutes or so. So we'll just have to
Indeed.
see how this one plays out. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun here. And I am actually on board with Sammy the Slammer, but soon we will have some other drivers on a lap. Actually, I think Sammy is doing this as kind of a warm up lap. And if Sammy goes ahead and takes this as his full next lap, which he is, Myro, go ahead and take us through this qualifying lap with the house of Sammy the Slammer.
Yes, we of course begin in turn one. Heavy braking zone until gear 3 or 2. Then early throttle, hopefully, to get a good exit. Going to gear 7 or 8, depends. Slowing down here to gear 3. Good early throttle again. Small braking zone, but of course again and again and again. Early throttle, heavy braking zone, almost 90 degrees to the right. Third gear, and we're going to 7th gear to 3rd gear again. Then we get the first DRS zone, and we can get to gear 8 already. Finally, after a full lap, almost a full lap. A bit of a mistake there, a bit of a slip, but he is still luckily alright. Doesn't seem like he made a lot of mistakes. Also doesn't seem like the best lap time ever because he made some mistake, of course. And the braking was not the best that I heard, but we of course go to the last corner already. Good exit is key here, and then it's already done with again DRS zone.
All
And
right,
that
and
will
that is the
be a
time.
129.5. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Thank you, Myro, for taking us through. So I'll go ahead and take us on an onboard lap. I believe Falcon, which is a newer driver, at least new to my understanding. So we'll see how he does here. So I mean, the evaluation race is actually a really good time to actually get acclimated with league racing. As you know, or as you may or may not know, Rush Racing League is one of the most, if not the most competitive league in the entirety of the OCE, or the
Indeed.
Oceania region. And I actually forgot to do something. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Pagny and SimLab Racing, AI369, which is our title sponsor, or lead sponsor, I should say. And we have a bunch of awesome sponsors. Thank you guys so much for your support because we wouldn't be here without it. Actually, while we have a little bit of time, I'm going to try to work on this quick little issue of the stream being super stretched. So we will go ahead and try to figure that one out real quick. You may see a black screen for a quick moment. If I can't fix it in about a minute, I'm going to just reset it.
I will, I will keep you alright. I will keep the viewers entertained. We get, of course, another yellow flag because someone is going slow, and especially it's Sammy in sector 3, but he's probably he's going into the pits. Oh,
Oh, he's
yes,
still super stretched.
he's going to the pits. Like, I can't count, alright, but almost half of the people are now in the pits waiting. We can go to another driver who is on the outlaps. Let's have a look. Dynasty. He is right now in Mercedes 10th. His lap time is 129.4. He can gain indeed a lot. Yeah, he's still on a half lap. He needs to do a half lap though to get finally to the new fast lap. Straight warming up tires, always on the outlap. The outlap is especially just the same as formation lap because you want to warm up your tires a bit because those tires are cold. He is in the last corner and he's going on a fast lap right now. A bit of a mess up in the last corner, not the greatest exit that I've seen, but he is doing it. DRS activated, overtake activated, and we're already in the first corner, braking, going into second gear, hopefully not spinning, good exit, a bit of cutting that's also needed. You can gain a lot with cutting, and we're going to the second corner, fourth gear, bit slow exit, bit deep, very very deep, but can lose him 10th or so, but small braking zone, very very good. Hard braking zone to the right, very good. Also early throttle, and hopefully second gear again DRS. Finally going to 7th gear until the next corner. I'm always forgetting the count of the corners. Going 4th gear over up. And we also got 20 drivers right now because someone new joined. So we have 20 drivers for this race, luckily. Happy to
Indeed.
see that. He is on the last straight before the last corner. Not a bad lap. If he can gain, he maybe can gain a lot in the last corner. A bit of a slow corner, but good exit, and he's going. And did he? Yes, going into 6th place at 121.9. Not bad, for sure, not bad.
Not bad at all for Dynasty. Yeah, Dynasty's been around here for a while, so he's not exactly a new kid on the block, but he has been here for quite some time now. Former team principal here at Rush Racing League, and now he is still with Mercedes, and he is driving the Mercedes W50 or W16, I believe, is the model number of the current generation of Mercedes Formula One car. But we are on board now with Ikatsi here, who is running that McLaren. McLaren obviously had a very good season last time around, but we'll see if they can continue their form this season. Obviously, there's no points on the line as we do see Ikatsi burning the battery, coming to the line. It's a time good enough for 14th at the moment. And now AJ is the last car to have not set a time, but that clock is ticking closer and closer to 0. So there's about 5.5 minutes left on the session, a little under that now, but the drivers are going to go ahead and continue to push on, but this track evolution is getting very, very intense. So we're going to start seeing these lap times fall very, very quickly. And the one thing about Rush, if you are new here, that you should definitely know is that qualifying times really get spicy, especially towards the latter half of the qualifying session, especially during the last like 2-ish minutes or so. Qualifying times really start ramping up as AJ is going to move up into P16 with a time of a 130.366. And now we're going to go ahead and check on board with, let's go with the driver we haven't checked on board with yet. Let's go with FTR Veins. He's going to come across the line. Well, just barely an improvement. An improvement of 58 hundredths of a second. But he is still P11. So, given what you have seen so far, Myro, I mean, this has been a pretty good qualifying session. First one of the
Mm-hmm.
season here in
For
Division
sure.
4. Now, it is an evaluation race, obviously, so the big goal is obviously getting that practice in, putting in the lap times, also making sure that there's no massive game-breaking bugs when it comes to F1 25. I know Barcelona in particular was a victim of that in F1 24, so we are testing a few different tracks, but I mean it's gonna be a lot of fun here tonight. 20 laps isn't a lot, so it's gonna be fast and furious all the way through.
Yes, qualifying is gonna be so important. Half of the people right now are sitting in the pits waiting for like 1 minute until they can get an out lap and then again a fast lap with the perfect track conditions. And I need to say, the last lap is gonna be the most important one. And maybe the last lap, one lap, is gonna resolve in a win for the race or a loss for the race. Like it's gonna depend so hard the race, how you're gonna do in the last lap of qualifying, I think, is super close in qualifying. The difference between second and third is almost is 1/10 of a second. That's nothing. First place is currently, if I'm counting right, 2/10 ahead of second place, which is very good. And maybe it's almost a foreshadowing for the season, but we will see because everyone is coming into the pits, but they're probably also coming out right now because qualifying is almost over. They need to set a new lap time, a very good lap time, and hopefully get to the top of the grid. And it might change the whole grid order, the last qualifying lap. It's gonna be chaos. It's like F1 Esports, the last lap, out of nowhere, everyone can change from last place to first place. I'm not gonna be surprised. It's gonna be chaos, and I would love it. I'm looking forward to it. Good luck.
Yeah, it's it's been interesting because we have seen that a lot last season. Very early on last season, I believe it was in the first Division 6 race we've ever had, which we're not in Division 6, we are in Division number 4, but Division 6 is our newest division. They just started last season, and I remember from one of the, I don't think it was the first Division 6 race, but it was one of the early Division 6 races where there was a driver that was in I think it was like P15 or something, and they ended up getting pulled by about 3/10. So like you said, anything can happen here in these
Wow.
closing stages of qualifying. But here's another thing too. Now, when we get to the full season, we're going to run full qualifying. That is something that we have brought back last season. And, I mean, granted, it's not going to play a role here, but consistency is going to be key here because, like you said, it takes one lap to make or break your qualifying, but if you have
Hmm.
3 different stages of qualifying like we do in the full qualifying, you can get top of the times in one session, and then you can pretty much get knocked out at the bottom of the session next time out. So, and getting
Yeah.
pole position is only one part of the race. And I mean, granted, no points on offer here today, but if this was a points paying race, getting pole position is one thing, right? But winning the
Hmm.
race, that's where the big points are. And just because you got pole position doesn't mean you've won the race. So, yeah, and we have quite a few drivers on outlaps here at the moment. Governor, I believe, is about to go ahead and get started, and yes, he does, driving the Kick Sauber. So we're going to see what he's going to do. He's going to make the run into turn number 1. Hard on the brakes. Going to go ahead and navigate turns 1 and 2. Going into the slight little kink before we go ahead and get the first DRS zone. That leads all the way to turns number 4 and 5. Navigates through turn 4. He's doing pretty solid so far. We'll see what the sector splits are. A few drivers have already wrapped up their qualifying as the timer has ran out. Governor is up a 1.4 tenths of a second there, so he's making his way. Now he's in the trickiest sector of the track. Now turn 10 on this track is a very notoriously difficult corner. The pair of turns 9 and 10, which Governor is going through at the moment. The kicks out are very nicely done. It is very easy to go too deep, just trying to chase every tenth of a second that you possibly can get into the second DRS zone. He's not really going to be getting a lot of that dirty air. He's going to put on a good amount of battery through the corner, turn 11, now going through turn 12. We'll see a sector split. He is up by over half a second, so that's going to jump him from P20 for sure. We'll see how close he can get. Legham still currently in pole position at the moment. And Sleepy Gamer is going to go ahead and take it. The Kickstopper with a 127, 11 hundredths of a second faster than Legham. And can Governor do anything about it? Can he usurp the times? He'll get up to P18, and that is his best result or the best result he's got tonight. So Kotze now is going to go ahead and make his way very wide, and that's an invalidated lap for the McLaren. So now we're going to head to Sammy. Can Sammy do anything? Sammy and Tudor are the last drivers remaining. Tudor is going to be in P8. Can Sammy go ahead and jump up a position? He's currently in P14 at the moment. And no, he doesn't jump up, so he is still in 14th. So, interesting start to the race, but once again, this is evaluation. And so there's still a lot of things that are going to have to go on. And I mean, the most important thing is you get that practice. So running through your qualifying order, you have Sleepy Gamer, Legham 777, and Dynasty rounding out our top three. And then it is Falcon, Flubber, Vettel, Sebi, Tudor Gaming, Reiko, Ralph, RJ, and then we have Vanes, Wogjet, Terrence, Sammy the Slammer, Ikatsi, J-Man, Jeneth, the Governor, AJ, and Keeper rounding out the grid. So, Myro, any predictions on how turn 1 is going to play out for these drivers?
I think it's gonna be chaos, but they're gonna make it clean. I think it's gonna be like that. I hope also. I hope it's gonna be a clean race with maybe a crash or two, but not big crashes. Like clean races, good driving. That's what I love to see, and that's what the league is about, of course.
So, if you're racing in this race, obviously you still have to make a singular mandatory pit stop. What would your strategy be? Because I would go medium to hard personally. But what strategy would you try to run for this race?
I'm not sure. Two stop is maybe also possible if you do a medium soft. But with 20 laps on the line, that's not a lot. Then you need to gain minimum 1 second per lap, and that's a lot. But if it's the race that you want to take, because there's no points on the line, so why not take the risk? It's possible. Why not?
It is indeed, yeah. I mean, we may see someone try that, but here we go. It's going to be lights out here very, very soon. And it is formation lap time. I made you guys blink, but yeah, so it is a formation lap. I believe this is a new thing that we're actually trying out for the season. Previously, we did not have any formation lap, but it is a new change for Rush Racing League, at least for the duration of the evaluation races. But it's going to be interesting. A majority of the field here is, actually I believe a majority of the field here is relatively new to Rush Racing. I know some veterans are here. Dynasty Sparrow, Vettel, Sebi, Tudor, Wogjet, Sammy, J-Man, Jeneth, Governor. I know a lot of these guys are veterans of the series. The Governor is the owner of Rush Racing League, so it's so weird not to see him in a McLaren. I'm so used to seeing him in a McLaren, and he's running a Sauber for the race. So, interesting stuff for this race. But yeah, so with the formation lap, a two-stop might happen just for the sake of experimentation, but I think the general strategy is going to be a one-stop race. I think it's probably going to be a medium to hard. Let's see what tire everybody is on at the moment.
A lot of people are on the softs.
That's interesting. Yeah, so
they might gonna do soft medium or soft hard.
Soft medium might be a decent one because this track.
Yeah, we know.
This track can shoot through tires, but not as much as like Barcelona.
Yeah, we have one person on the hard. We have 2, 4, 6, 7 people on the mediums, and the rest are on the softs. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. The front row is all on the softs, and the second row is on the mediums. Slappy is already very fast in his grid position. maybe not the smartest idea because his tires are gonna be cold right now at the start, and that can cost him time until 1. But we will see. And we already get a disqualification.
Ooh.
P5, Ferrari, Flubber. I don't know what he did. But he got disqualified. Maybe he crashed in the formation lap with another person. But that's already 1 person out. 19 left to go.
And here we thought the Ferrari bad luck would just stay in the real F1.
Always
Apparently
Ferrari.
it's both Ferraris are out actually. So
What?
yeah, so both Ferraris are DSQ'd. So that's an interesting
It's a
start.
Ferrari thing.
So all right, here we go. We're about to go ahead and see those 5 red lights going on. And it's lights out, and away we go. Sleepy is going to go ahead and try to lead us to the line. We'll see what happens here into turn 1. Legham is going to try to go ahead and set a dive up the inside. A bit late on the brakes there for the Sauber, but it's the Williams and the Sauber fighting tooth and nail already. And Legham is already up, and we have a crash or something in the back. Oh, yep, that's
Yeah, in the
Vanes.
back.
Vanes has actually already lost, he got
Oh my
spun
gosh.
around. There might be damage on that Mercedes, but we don't know yet. Jumping back to the front, Legham, a very good start here for the Williams. Flubber is actually, I guess there must have been a bug on our end, because both of the Ferraris are still in this race, so interesting bug. We've seen some interesting moments. Oh, what's happening here in the back? Oh, there's a McLaren in the wall. It is Ikatsi. Ikatsi's in the wall. And that McLaren
He's back
might
on
have some
racing.
damage.
Yeah, we will see if they're gonna pit this lap. Maybe it's also an idea to pit the first lap and then go on hards. That's also an idea. If it's a smart mount, I don't know, but if you have damage, it's possible. Terrence in 17th place on the hards. Start was not the best because hard tires, hard to get grip, and he lost a couple of places. And he is out of the DRS zone for the person in front of him. Slappy was in first place, but got into second place in the first or second corner. But he's trying to go back. Dynasty, medium. A flopper gained a position first lap. Very, very nice on the soft. Dynasty is almost out of DRS, so from the person in front of him, so he might need to use a lot of DRS here to get the DRS back.
Indeed, yeah. So we'll just have to see how this one plays out. It's a pretty big DRS train for P1 through P6 at the moment, as we're going right on board with the Ferrari. A good amount of opposite lock there coming out of the corner as he goes into turns number 9 and 10. A bit of a brake lock up there for Sleepy Gamer. So we'll see if that's going to cost him, and he doesn't seem like it did. As we look on board on the Kick Sauber, I mean, it's kind of an interesting situation because he's got a very quick Williams ahead. Legham has been very quick today, as we have found out. I mean, he pretty much wasted no time getting into the front of the pack, using all of that soft tire compound before the tire falls off of a cliff and then the pit stops start rolling around. So it'll be interesting to see how this race plays out. There's our possible race strategies brought to us in game. Now, some drivers will often opt to ignore that sometimes and come up with their own strategies. A Sleepy Gamer does have the fastest lap of the session right now, as Tudor and Vettel are swapping some positions in the DRS zone. Tudor is up in the 5th at the moment. And there's still a very good three-way battle here for first place between Flubber, Legham, and Sleepy. So we'll just have to see how this one is going to play out. Legham going to try to send it up the inside. The two cars are side by side going through turn number 4. And somehow, someway, Gamer goes ahead and keeps the lead of this race. I mean, this is fantastic driving. And this is only a sneak peek of what Division 4 has to offer. Then boy, oh boy, am I excited for this one, Miro.
Yes, for sure. It's my a bit of a lockup at the end of the fight. But now again DRS, so Legham again maybe get the place back. And Flubber is also very close, but they aren't on time. Dynasty with the medium tires is out of DRS. So he's leading the train right now. But the train is shortened because Falcon is also on medium tires and out of DRS. And then Walk and 10th place is also out of DRS place. But we almost get again DRS zone and maybe an overtake. A bit of cutting right there. Last corner, DRS wide open, and we will see Leckham is very close, 110 behind. This will be interesting to see in the first corner. They go side by side. Leckham bit backing off, still by side. Uh, Switchback from Leckham, by the way. Nice switchback, more speed on the straight. Still side by side, a bit of shoulder banging, a bit close to each other while we get a yellow flag. And it's gone right now. And Leckham takes the lead of the race while Slappy almost goes off the track and Flubber got more speed. But Flubber still in third place. And Leckham is driving away, 4 tenths ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, with how strong the DRS zones are on this track, I mean, it's getting
Crazy.
away is much easier said than done. So we're gonna potentially see another position switch. But the driver I really want to keep an eye on is the guy we're currently on board with, the number 21 Ferrari of Flubber, because I mean, it's very clear that Leckham and Sleppy are pretty much no strangers to boxing, and Wogjet has left the session. If you have him, go ahead and try to invite him back, please. Oh, and we have a Mercedes off. It is Vanes once again, not having the easiest of races here in Bahrain. Luckily, there's no points on offer, so that's going to be a little bit of a reprieve. But, I mean, man, look at this train we have. All aboard the DRS train here as we enter lap number 5 out of 20 here for the first evaluation race of division number 4. So if you guys would love to, go ahead and follow us here on our Twitch channel, and also go check us out on YouTube, where the VODs of all the races will be re-uploaded afterwards. I know just before we got started here, the Division 3 race got uploaded, so go check that one out. I'm sure it was a certified banger. With Matif was one of the commentators for that race, a very fantastic commentator in his own right. And yeah, so it's a really fun race. You guys should go check it out, and also check out a lot of the other races from past seasons. So yeah, so be sure to check those out, as Sammy the Slammer is out of this race, so he has retired on track. So that is unfortunate there for Sammy. Curious to see what happened there for Sammy. But luckily it's happening in the evaluation races and not actually in any points paying race, so at least he can take a little bit of solace in that fact at the moment. We're going to hop on board with Sebi now as he tries to chase down the lead Red Bull of Vettel. He's going to go ahead and turn on the DRS, and we have our second retirement of the race with Vanes. And are we going to see a move going into turn 1? No. Sebi thinks about it and says, it's nah, I'm just going to wait it out, wait for a better opportunity. We're also going to switch back up to the front here as the Williams driver of Legham is going to swap spots again. Right up the inside, more contact between the two. These two are playing bumper cars out here on the track tonight. It's a miracle neither one of these drivers have damage. These drivers are fighting very aggressively against each other. It's like they've been bitter rivals for years. It's like the Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen rivalry of 2021. This is pure cinema that we're seeing on track here at the moment. As we're only in lap 6 though, so I mean, if all this action is happening in lap 6, then boy, do we have a mighty fine race ahead of us. And Dynasty is up in the third now, so he's a very seasoned driver here at Rush Racing League. He's been around the block quite a few times, so I would think he'll probably just go ahead and wait for one of these drivers to make a mistake and then capitalize on it. So Myro, I'm going to ask you now, if you're in the position of Dynasty, who's currently in third place, and your two opponents up ahead are basically scrapping tooth and nail for first place, what would you do in this situation? Well, I guess we got the answer.
Oh,
Oh no, we didn't get the answer to that. I thought
no.
these guys were both in the pits momentarily.
I think I'm not gonna go especially for a move, but wait it out. Stay in DRS range, so you stay in the back. But if they fight each other, and there is a possibility, if there is a gap, maybe go for it. Just go for it, and we get a penalty, a 3-second penalty for probably cutting the track, or yeah, corner cutting kinda over the track limits, but 3 seconds. Again, we have a retirement in the pits. But back to that, I think for Dynasty, because he is on another strategy, I think it's best to not push that hard, so he can do long on the mediums, and on the softs he can just be like the McLaren on this year, just a rocket ship and overtake everyone. I think that's the best choice that you can do. Like, say, be safe. Be safe in P3 or P4 and wait it out. Maybe they crash with each other and then you're first place. Maybe. Uh, I think it's the safest place. And I think also the people on softs right now almost are gonna pit, but I'm not sure what they're gonna do, what their plan is. We will see. We will probably also wait until the first person is gonna pit, and then it's gonna be chaos.
Oh, here we
And
go.
indeed,
So
we have the first place. The
as
first
we
place,
shall
first person
see.
to pit. Yes. Wonder what tire he's gonna go on.
Oh, the hard.
He's
So
going on the hard. Wow.
yeah, so we see Flubber going ahead and switching to the hard tire compound. So it's an interesting strategy because, I mean, even though it's only a 20 lap race, which is about a good 15-ish% shorter than our default race length here at Rush Racing League, because this is a 35% race that we're running for the duration of the evaluation races, but normally we are running at the 50% races. So I mean, even though we have less laps than normal, I think it's about 8 laps. As we see, it Conti trying to make a dive onto Terrence there. Doesn't quite get it done. The Alpine holding P12 at the moment. So this is going to be an interesting race here, I think. We're going to jump up
Yes.
as we see the two Racing Bulls battling it out now. You have two Racing Bulls, and then you have the Red Bull of Vettel up ahead. So we'll just have to see how this one plays out. I mean, these drivers are very, very talented. Some of the best drivers, if not the best drivers in the region. So, Division 4, I mean, all the divisions here at Rush Racing League are hyper competitive. If you want to get involved with Rush Racing League, either as a commentator, or you can join the likes of myself and Myro in the commentary box, or if you want to be part of the action out on track, go ahead and join the Discord, which I believe is linked into Twitch chat, and the appropriate manager will go ahead and get you set up, because we would love to have you. Some of my favorite moments in this league is when somebody new goes ahead and joins and already sets the series ablaze. And I feel like we're going to see some of these newcomers go ahead and do that here at Rush Racing League, because granted, league racing in itself is different than your average career mode or online race, especially at Rush. There has not been a uncompetitive race at Rush in my entire time of commentating here. And so even in the reserve categories, there's a lot of really strong racing. So yeah, so definitely do your best to get into the action if you so desire. Or if you just prefer to watch us, we still love to have you anyway. So thank you guys so much for tuning in on the stream. Or if you're watching this back on YouTube, thank you guys so much. But we are not going anywhere yet, because we still have a ton of racing here. So once again, we talked about it earlier. You in particular, Dynasty is on a different strategy compared to Sleppy. So if you are the Sauber in the lead of this race, how long would you be willing to take those soft tires? Because surely they got to be screaming. And, well, I don't even have to wait for the answer. He gets the answer right there because he's into the pits.
Changing it. But Indeed, it's already lap 10 or 20. The time goes fast. You need to pit. Don't forget to pit. A lot of people, I think almost half of the people, or almost all the people have pitted yet. Uh, 3 people in total that have pitted have gone to the hards, and the rest all to mediums. And right now, nobody on the grid, nobody on the track is on the softs. Only medium and hards. So interesting to see, because Terrence, he began with a hard tire and probably will go on the soft in the end, I think. But he got in total now 12 seconds of penalty. I was interested to see his strategy, because maybe it's an alternate strategy. It's very interesting. Maybe it's a risk, maybe, yes. But it's also maybe very interesting to see. And maybe it will help out. But because he began I think P17, he is he is beginning to climb the ladder. So maybe he will end up in P1. Who knows? But racing is more not only about the racing itself, not about only the strategy itself. It's about consistency. It's about mindset too. It's a
Consistency
chaotic
is
thing.
key. Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. I mean, you can be rapid over one lap, but if you're not rapid over the other 19 laps, then you're not exactly going to be able to win. So,
Indeed.
consistency wins championships. I mean, it is mathematically possible to win a championship without even winning a race because you are consistent. And I think consistency is going to play a big factor here. One thing I know for certain, though, is Ludgam has been consistently quick here as he just sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix here so far. We're at the halfway stage of the race here. It is lap 11 out of 20 here at the Bahrain International Circuit, a circuit that's been around since 2004. One of the few circuits I'm actually older than. But we're going to actually head back to Vettel here because Vettel is really close to the back of Sleppy though, although it is worth noting that, actually, since we're about to get onto that topic, let's take a look at the tire age of these drivers. So, the oldest, there's a few drivers still on their starting tires. Sparrow and Falcon, the two birds on the grid, are both on 10-lap-old medium tires. Same with the Governor, as well as Terrence and Keeper. And there's a Red Bull going super wide there. It's as wide as the screen resolution on the stream at the moment. That was a very wide line there for Vettel. I wonder what happened there. I mean, he didn't really lose any positions that I noticed.
No.
So, interesting stuff there. But it is very easy to carry too much speed into turn 10 from turn 9 because it is such a... Honestly, like, at least for me, it is probably the hardest corner on the track.
Oh, we got another one. Falcon, after 11 laps of a mediums going onto the softs, pitting finally a softs person back again. Dynasty also still on the mediums, 11 laps. That's not nothing. And also Governor is still on 11 laps with the mediums, but he's going also in the pits like other people right now. Keeper gets a 10-second penalty because corner cutting, if I saw it right. And we have right now 3 people on the softs. Finally to be back. I'm happy. Dynasty is right now 11 seconds in the lead because of his strategy. But pitting loses you a lot of time. I think like 20. So if he pitted, is gonna pit now. He's gonna go in P4 or P5 or P6 maybe even. So it will be interesting because he is losing time to the person behind him. So it's interesting to see. Is Dynasty gonna pit right now or not? That's the question. While we see a little fight with Slappy and Vettel. Vettel with the DRS, a little look at the outside of the car, but not going for it. Not worth the risk, I think. Because if you get damaged, your race is over. Or you lose a lot of time, and then your race is also over. But what do you have to lose? Because there's no point in this evaluation race. Slappy going very fast. While the DRS is open, so Vettel might gain a lot, while Flubber has while Flubber has the hard tires, but he has also the DRS. While I saw damage in the back, what happened? I saw something fly. Did something wait? I
I'm
don't
not
see any
sure if
damage,
I'm not sure if
but I
something
saw.
flew off the car or
Oh,
not, but these cars are getting very, very close from what I'm seeing. But another thing I do want to point
bumper.
out is I know that we were talking about the fact that Dynasty is still on those 12 lap old mediums,
Yeah,
but the thing
it's
is
losing so
that
much.
um, this because this is an evaluation race, he could also be trying to get some data for whenever we go to the 50% races. Although I know the tire
Ooh,
degradation rate, I believe scales depending on how long your
yeah,
race actually is,
yeah.
but he could still be getting some good data. And I mean that's the big thing about these evaluation race. It's data for us as as the league, for the drivers, and also apparently for stream. So I can see the pure limits of how wide I can stretch a screen, apparently.
And with this evaluation races, we might get a foreshadowing of the people in front of the race for the next races. But to to know who is gonna be in front, that's only one way to find out, and that's watching the stream or joining the Discord server, or maybe driving yourself if you want. But Dynasty, he's losing so much time. He is now gaining. I don't know. Wait, what's happening? Lego had a really
Oh,
bad score. They're
RJ.
losing 2 seconds or something out of nowhere. So Dynasty, very good for him. Very good. 14 seconds in front. He can pit now, but he will still be coming out in fifth or sixth or maybe even seventh place. While we got another DNF from Rijkoistra, if I pronounce it right, on the hard.
Yeah,
While we
RJ joining the DNF club here in this race, but I'm really interested in this battle. Oh, once again, Legham. Oh, that's a big hit. That is a
oh,
massive hit. Legham and Vettel coming to blows here. I think Legham actually had a bit too much of a dive there onto Vettel there, causing a lot of contact, causing Vettel to lose some pretty hefty positions there. He was ahead of Legum, but he lost 2 positions there because of the contact. I know we got not the greatest camera angle of that, but yeah, that's definitely gonna have to be reviewed by the stewards. Although, not sure what penalties will be applied during an evaluation race, but that is definitely not ideal for the Atlassian Williams driver. Because I mean, early on in this race, he had a very good chance to really just run away with this one. As we are down to the final 6 laps of this Grand Prix Dynasty now, he finally made his pit stop on lap 15 out of 20. He came into the pits at the end of lap 14, but now he is on the factory new racing softs. He is not going to fight Reiko. He's going to let Reiko on through. Reiko's got the penalty anyway, and he'll be able to actually benefit from the DRS of the Aston Martin. Going to pass by with little to no issue going into the corner. So, I mean, he's got a lot of ground to make up. He is currently 6.5 seconds back, but he's going to be on those brand new soft tires. So I think, and Dynasty is a quick driver, so I think we'll definitely see some moves, or at least some progress being made by the Australian driver in that Mercedes. So we'll just have to see how this one does indeed play out. But once again, the battle from the beginning. Oh, Leggett was shaking for a move there. Very aggressive shake there. Probably burned up a bit of his tires in that, honestly. But yeah, I mean, we're soon to be down to the final 5 laps of this Grand Prix here, Myro. What are your
already.
thoughts? Who do you think is going to take this one?
Ooh, it's gonna be close with Dynasty. I think he can do it. He is gaining a lot of time. His soft tires are so fast right now. But the problem is, he doesn't have DRS. Now with the DRS train in front, they have all DRS. They can gain a lot of time with to Dynasty. But Dynasty has such a fast tires. And you can see how much he is gaining. He gained more than half a second on one sector. I, it's gonna be close with Dynasty and maybe Legum. But I'm not sure about Legum. I think he has damage, and that's why he fell back a lot. I hope for him he doesn't have damage. I don't see damage right now, but I think he has damage. Hopefully for him not, and hopefully he can win for him. Flubber on the hard. It's maybe also a good strategy if the mediums are gonna be very slow, that his harders are faster than them. It's it's a strategy. It's, I don't know what to say. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I will see. I'm excited to see it. I love strategies.
Indeed, yeah, and I mean Flubber has actually been really close to the back of Sleppy for a good chunk of this race, so he's really been biding his time, and I think considering how aggressive Legum is at the moment, I mean, we saw the massive dive bombs he's been doing throughout a good chunk of the race, and he's clearly not afraid to get a little bit of contact here in the race, as we're going to try to see him make a move onto Sleppy there, who was our pole sitter for the race. So we'll see how this one is going to play out, but I think if there's a moment where Flubber can benefit from an incident, it's definitely going to be between these top two drivers. These top two drivers are in a position to where, I mean, they're fighting tooth and nail, and considering how aggressive Legum has been, it may just be a matter of time before he causes another collision and causes a ton, I mean, or creates a massive opportunity there for Flubber in P3, or maybe even Tudor, one of these other cars that are in this DRS train. Because Vettel, I mean, he's recovering a little bit. Oh, but Flubber gets a 3-second time penalty for track limit violation, so he's likely not going to get the win. So now, I mean, if Gamer and Legum get into it, then, I mean, it's really going to just come down to who's going to be ahead at the end of 19. Because the best opportunity to really pass on this track is obviously that start-finish straight. It's not as easy to overtake on some other parts of the track. I mean, you do have a lot of good DRS zones on this track, so I think if you're ahead on lap 19 and you manage to survive through the first DRS zone starting lap 20, then I think you can pretty much win this race. But as always, anything can happen in the realm of racing, especially Formula One. I mean, there's a million different possibilities to see what happens here. We could see a collision, we could see a disconnect. I mean, there's a plethora of things that we can go ahead and see. So we're on lap 18 out of 20 now. We're down to the final 3 laps of this Grand Prix. Tudor Gaming is actually going to jump up into the podium spot, making moves for a V-carb. Oh, there's contact! There's a bit of contact, and there it is. It looks like Legum just got into the rear tire of Sleppy there, and Tudor's got a mighty fine chance of winning this. Tudor actually dropped several positions in that massive DRS train, and there's such a gaggle of cars here going through turn 4. I mean, at this point, it's anybody's race. Dynasty is also brought back into play here, because now he's within DRS range. The two Racing Bulls are side by side, and it's a lot of pandemonium here in the closing stages of this race. So interesting stuff in this Grand Prix here as we get down to the closing stages. And here's the thing though, the best thing you can pull away from this race, aside from very valuable data, is bragging rights. So with that in mind, oh, that's a very aggressive weave from Legum there. I'm not quite sure if that's legal or not. Granted, I'm not a steward by any stretch. Being a steward is such an unenviable job, but as you're about to get down to the final 2 laps of this race, I'm going to let you take the lap 19, and I'll take the final lap, Myro. So as we're about to see the drivers go to turn 15, I'm passing it to you.
Thank you. You can see Dynasty, he loved the crash. Now he's in the DRS train, he's gaining time. I think he can do it. 2 laps left with the fresh tires. All the people are on old and bad tires, while we get fighting in turn 1, almost a crash again. No damage, but a bit of fighting, bit of off-roading from Legum goes in the first place, but he doesn't have a good exit, so Sleppy takes the first place again, so off-roading wasn't really worth it. Dynasty is in DRS train, but it's hard to pass it. Even though he has the best tires of them all, it's hard to pass it. Very, very hard. A bit of a lockup from Sleppy, but still in lead by half a second. almost DRS zone back. We get a couple of penalties out of nowhere. Leckham very close to the back of Slappy. DRS open, but it's very hard in the back. I don't think he can overtake yet. Dynasty also still 0.4 seconds behind. It's hard to overtake. You can see it. Flubber P4 with the penalty 0.6. Vettel also 0.6, 0.7 behind. Third place. And I think DRS is not enough to overtake with 0.6 because the whole train got DRS. While we go into the last corner, go to the last lap. Here you go, Rekkers.
Thank you so much, Myro. Fantastic job there. Covering lap 19 as we're on the final lap of this Grand Prix here. And there is no love lost between these two. Legham and Sleppy battling it out tooth and nail. Once again, Legham definitely not shy around this track. He is braking very, very late. He's got DRS, so it seems that the DRS trick from the last game is still there. But Sleppy still in the slipstream. He's got the better grip. He's going to dive it up the inside. Not afraid to get his elbows out there. As we navigate into Sector 2 for the final time of this Grand Prix. And Sleppy now. Oh, but Sleppy is going to try to have to get the switchback. He's got the switchback going. And these two cars are fighting side by side. Mere centimeters between them. A little bit of a brake lockup going into turn number 10. Now we're on the second DRS zone. The last real opportunity to make a very solid overtake under DRS on this track, because on that final straight you don't really have a lot of DRS when it's the last lap of the race. So, and I think it might be Sleppy Gamer that goes ahead and gets the win here. So he's got only 2 more corners left to navigate, but there's a lot of real estate between turn 15 and the checkered flag. So we're going to see, are we going to see Legham make a move here? He's got the slipstream. Is he going to send it up as a dive? No, he doesn't. It's just going to be who's going to get a better exit. Both drivers burning the midnight oil, burning the battery. And, oh, it's a big spin there. And Sleppy Gamer does take victory here. Legham comes home in second place. He slams into the wall across the line. That's going to be reviewed by the stewards. Vettel in third. Dynasty in fourth. Tudor in fifth. Sebi in 6th, Flubber having an unfortunate penalty, drops him down to 7th on the road. And then Aston Martin P8, P9. Governor will actually go ahead and jump up, and oh, Dynasty has left the session, so that's a interesting one. So we have lost 5 drivers over the course of this, but I mean, man, oh man, what a very dramatic end of the race that was.
Yeah, what was that? It was, what happened? I didn't see it. It out of nowhere he was spinning. Like, did you see it? Like, did someone crash into it? Or?
I don't know. I mean, I know sometimes like some drivers do it as like a celebration thing, but
Oh.
I mean, it's a preseason, but once again, I mean, it was a fantastic race with a lot of action here as the Kick Sauber driver goes ahead and takes the top step of the podium. So that is the first race of the preseason evaluations done and dusted, as we're about to go ahead and see the podium celebrations. And I mean, this is a very hard fought race. Sleppy Gamer going ahead and taking the win. I mean, he had to fight for that one. So overall, Myro, what were your thoughts on this race?
It was very interesting race. Not only because of the fighting, there was a lot of fighting, I loved it. Very, very close. Maybe a bit of damage. I didn't see it. I didn't see damage, but there was probably damage.
Oh,
But
interesting.
also, the strategies of the people. Almost everyone had a different strategy, and it was very interesting to see how it ended up. And I don't know why, but I love such strategy and people having different strategies and then coming everything up in the last lap. I
Yes,
loved
I
it.
mean, it was a very fun race indeed. But yeah, so once again, everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning on in here to Rush Racing League. I believe we'll be back tomorrow at the same time for Division 5, I believe, is up next. But from myself and Miro, actually, Miro, it was your first time in the commentary
Yeah.
room for Rush Racing League, so I want to say thank you so much for joining me in the commentary box, and I want to thank everybody for tuning on in and going ahead and just watching the stream. Yeah, so I will make one singular promise though, although there is not much that can be foretold about the future. I promise that the next stream will not be on the 900-inch wide monitor, but yeah, but anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us here, putting up with some of the shenanigans, and we will see you guys next time. But first, just before we go, I want to go ahead and make a massive shout out to all of our sponsors, our primary sponsor of AI369. Thank you guys so much for going ahead and sticking with us coming into the season, and all of our other fantastic sponsors that we have here. Once again, on behalf of Myra, my name is Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.